Coming up on today's show, I'm going to take a look ahead at the 49ers 2022 free agents. A lot of really difficult decisions to make for this front office as they look forward and try to still contend in the Super Bowl window. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. First, let's take a look at some key dates in the NFL offseason. NFL Scouting Combine going to go down in Indianapolis from March 1st to March 7th. March 8th is the deadline to franchise tag players. March 16th is the start of NFL free agency. Can't wait to break all of these signings down here on the 49ers Report. It always gets live here on the channel. April 28th to the 30th, NFL Draft in Las Vegas. So those are some of the key dates in the NFL offseason to look forward to because, hey, we have you covered with everything going down with this football team right here on the 49ers Report. I want to ask you this before we dive into some of these marquee free agents, and we're going to go over all of the free agents on this roster. Do you find the NFL offseason to be riveting? If so, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. There's so much that goes down, and I think the NFL has done a great job of mastering the year-round calendar, and I'll tell you what, makes the channel fun, and it makes covering this league really fun as well. Let's start breaking down these 49ers free agents, and there are a lot of marquee free agents and some lower-level free agents. We're going to show everybody some love and break all of them down here on today's show. Some really big names here. Laken Tomlinson, Jason Verrett, DJ Jones, Raheem Mostert, Jauan Williams. Going to give you some quick thoughts on all of these guys. Laken Tomlinson, we'll break him down further coming up. Jason Verrett, really good cornerback when he's healthy. The problem with him, he has not been able to escape the injury bug. I would not bring him back because you simply cannot rely on him to be available for your football team. Love DJ Jones. We'll break him down coming up too. Raheem Mostert, in his late 20s, you drafted Elijah Mitchell. He's been balling out. Trey Sermon right now is on IR. I like JaMycal Hasty, but I think you move on from Raheem Mostert. Some really good moments as a San Francisco 49er. Just don't think he figures into the plans. And Jauan Williams has been a very serviceable cornerback. I'd like to bring him back at the right price. Let's hone in on Laken Tomlinson. He is having arguably the best game of his career, and the numbers certainly back that up. A Pro Football Focus grade of 71.5, pass blocking grade of 73.5, run blocking grade of 71.3, and really, we haven't talked about him a lot this year during our watch parties or when breaking down film. That's a good thing because he hasn't gotten beat in the ground game or in pass coverage. When you don't have to mention offensive linemen, that is usually a good thing. He has also been so available for this team. Since coming to San Francisco from Detroit, he has played in 76 consecutive games. As for DJ Jones, he really is having a great year. And right now you have him on a really affordable one-year contract. I would like to bring him back and maybe even give him more money than he got last year, which is around $3+ million because a couple of reasons. I'm not sure what Javon Kinlaw is going to be able to give this team moving forward because he just underwent ACL surgery, and last year as a rookie, he was consistently hurt. This year as a sophomore player, his season got cut short because of injury. I've been able to rely on DJ Jones, and this year, he's been very good as a rotational defensive tackle. Let me challenge you with this, Niner gang. If you had to pay one, who would you pay if it came down to just giving the bag to one? Type LT for Laken Tomlinson, DJ for DJ Jones. Get those votes in the comment section right now. Want to give a shout out to today's presenting sponsor, our sportsbook here on the 49ers Report, BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/49bet and enter the promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. So what that means is you put $100 into your account, you get an additional $125 back. That's $225 in total. And if you put $100 into your account for first-time signups, we'll send you a free 49ers jersey to celebrate the holiday season. Right now, bunch of sizes and colors available for Jimmy Garoppolo threads with those Nike unis and George Kittle jerseys as well. Let me break down these steps for you because I just want to simplify it for you because we want to send you free 49ers jerseys. All you have to do, chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. Sign up, deposit at least $100. You get $125 back. Make a bet, then email us jersey@chatsports.com letting us know you followed all of those steps. Yes, this isn't a lie. These are all facts. We'll send you free 49ers jerseys if you follow those steps. Move ahead with these 49ers free agents: Jeff Wilson, Ross Dwelley, Josh Norman, Marcell Harris, and Mohammed Sanu. I don't need to see any more from Mohammed Sanu, especially with Jauan Jennings playing the way that he's been playing. I'd also like to bring back Trent Sherfield. Marcell Harris, like his positional versatility. He can play defensive back. He can also play linebacker. Josh Norman, really all that he's done well this year is punch the football out and force fumbles. For a cornerback, I need more. He's also old and washed. Ross Dwelley, really good backup tight end. Jeff Wilson, I don't know. If he comes back at an affordable rate, maybe. This is what I do know. 49ers really have to address the cornerback position in the NFL draft. They are so thin there right now, and going into the year, that was really my biggest concern for San Francisco. I looked at the defensive back depth chart, and I was like, yo, if Jason Verrett goes down, that's going to spell disaster for San Francisco. And ever since then, they've been plugging and playing guys, whether that be Josh Norman, Drake Kirkpatrick, who thankfully he's not with this team anymore. They've been having lately to play the rookies, Deommodore Lenoir and Ambry Thomas. And it's way too early to call those guys busts, but they have to address the cornerback position with premier talent this upcoming NFL draft and stack up with some depth there. I think cornerback is the biggest area of need going into this offseason. What say you? You let me know in the comment section right now the biggest area of need for the 49ers going into the offseason. 5 more guys to break down. Jaquiski Tartt at the safety spot. Tavon Wilson, defensive back. Tom Compton, offensive guard. Dante Johnson, defensive back. And Maurice Hurst, defensive tackle, who we haven't been able to see a lot of because of that ankle injury that's really lingered all throughout the year. By the way, prayers up to Dante Johnson, not able to play in that game on Sunday. His mother passed away after suffering a heart attack, so prayers up to him and his family. Among these players, who do you want back the most? Could it be Mo Hurst, defensive tackle, rotational piece? Jaquiski Tartt is a pretty solid safety. Depth pieces are so important when you're trying to build a football team because you look at the Niners roster right now, they really do have a lot of talented and premier elite players on this team, and you're paying a lot of guys a lot of money. But the Super Bowl championship contenders always fill out the middle portion and back end of that roster with some depth pieces, something to think about when we break these guys down. Arden Key, Jordan Willis, Trent Sherfield, Trenton Cannon, Daniel Brunskill, also free agents going into this offseason. Early start of the season, an early portion of the season, I was like, I don't know what to make of Arden Key coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders. The last month or so of the year, he's been a really good player. I'd like to bring back Trent Sherfield. If he doesn't give you a lot at wide receiver, which I was expecting more of him in that regard, really good special teams player. Other than that, Daniel Brunskill as a backup offensive tackle, I like him. As a starter, no thank you. Arden Key, though, last month of the year has been excellent. These are his season stats, and a lot of these numbers have come by way of his last 4 or 5 games. 4 sacks on the year as a backup who can play edge and defensive tackle. That's very valuable. 3 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, 1 pass breakup. I don't think you have to pay him all that much money. I'd like to bring him back at a good price tag. Tavarius Moore, Jake Brendel, Contavious Street, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, and JaMycal Hasty. These are guys, as we progress forward at the back end of the roster, who are all depth pieces. JaMycal Hasty, I like him as like a 3rd or 4th running back. If you had to pick like him and a Wayne Gallman type, the Niners went with JaMycal Hasty coming out of the preseason. I kind of like that thought process moving forward as well. He's young, he's cheap, and he's affordable. This is where it starts to get interesting with a guy like Jauan Jennings. You get him in the 7th round a couple of years ago out of Tennessee, and his development has really become a pretty impressive storyline to follow. That back shoulder ball and adjustment he made in overtime on that throw from Jimmy Garoppolo to kind of flip the field was a marvelous play. And with some injuries at the wideout position throughout this year, Jauan Jennings has been thrust into a larger role. And I'm at the point now when even Mohammed Sanu comes back, I'm cool with playing Jauan Jennings and giving him some more tick and giving him some more run. And he has outplayed a guy like Trent Sherfield, who had a very, very impressive preseason this year. So Jauan Jennings, a developmental project for the San Francisco 49ers, who I would like to bring back. Richie James, don't care. Azeez Al-Shaair, Kevin Givens, 2 other guys who I'd like to bring back as well. especially Azeez Al-Shaair. Azeez Al-Shaair has had one of the best years of all 49ers defenders this year. Undrafted guy coming out of Florida Atlantic. He played his college ball under Lane Kiffin. Another one of those developmental projects who people have talked about and raved about in this 49ers organization as being a key piece as far as the culture. So John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, this 49ers front office, for the culture, please sign Azeez Al-Shaair. Not only has he been the best linebacker on the team this year, yes, even better than Fred Warner, he's been one of the best big play linebackers in the sport here in 2021. As for Jauan Jennings, I kind of said it already, his stock really soaring. Good blocker, caught a touchdown pass a couple weeks ago. That really clutch play last week changed the complexion of the game. And I want to see guys like that come back who you have exhausted a lot of efforts in toward developing. And these are guys, again, depth pieces who can really serve you well, who you don't have to fork over a lot of cash to, who help you really build this roster as a whole to help you compete for championships, which is, of course, the goal for the Niners moving forward. Which free agent must the 49ers sign? That's the question that I'm asking you before we head out of here on this segment. You let me know some names in the comment section. I'm going to go back and see who you all want the 49ers to sign this offseason.